Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is HeroQuest, and today I've busted out the wide lens because we're taking a look at something big, AltarQuest. AltarQuest is a game published by Blacklist Games, a proprietor of the MDS or Modular Deck System trademark, and is a cooperative game of fantasy adventure for 1 to 4 players by Adam and Brady Sadler. These are the same folks who created Heroes of Terranoth, and by extension, the Warhammer Quest the Adventure card game. Enough about that, let's take a look at the different sides of the AltarQuest box, as is standard for the channel. We have art of the heroes on the different sides of the box. I like the vampire lady in armor, and I really like that she has a spiked shield. Even her defense is violent. This one's just funny. Taking a look at the back of the box, we see that it is upside down. Why did these silly billies print it? Oh, wait, no. Hold on, that's on me. Hopefully I remember to cut that out. All across the troubled lands of Aritica, altars plague the forgotten places, the dank dungeons, ruined castles, endless caves, and power-hungry villains seek them out in hopes to harness the corrupted magic that emanates from them. While these mysterious stones are commonly believed to be physical manifestations of the godlike entities known as runes, they have been twisted and pushed to the surface of the earth by the vile Lich Queen, Cerza, that sleeps deep beneath Aritica. I said that wrong. Zera. Heroes have taken it upon themselves to seek out these altars and secure them from the enemy's control. However, the powers once locked within the altars have already escaped into the world, and ancient evils have already begun to stir. If you can't tell from the board, this is very inspired by HeroQuest. Somebody out there could probably cite numerous interviews, design logs, things like that, where the creators of AltarQuest cite HeroQuest as their main source of inspiration. As for me, that's just something that I've heard. But I mean, look at the stairs tile. Look at the stairs tile. If you know, you know. What's very much not inspired by HeroQuest is the amount of cards. There are 446 cards with this game, 108 hero cards, 32 upgrade cards, 25 equipment. That should tell you something, the ratio of equipment to hero. 120 quest cards, yes! 374 tokens. These things are not a HeroQuest-like. But the gameplay is driven by the popular modular deck system, and this game offers a unique dungeon crawl experience in which players can choose to modularly combine hero decks, villain decks, threat decks, and quest decks to create their own adventures. I want to read this part before we open this box. It features 4 distinct heroes to play as, 3 deadly villains to face off against, 3 groups of threats to fight, 6 varied quests to take on, we'll have to understand what that means, and over 75 highly detailed miniatures. Now that includes 4 heroes, 45 minions, 3 villains, 16 doors, 7 features, and 1 altar. And I'm really hoping that these are the features, but you can't really be inspired by HeroQuest without having a bunch of furniture. Am I right? I said, am I right? So that's our box lid out of the way, and here's the AltarQuest rulebook. Again, loving the presence of the vampire lady with the spiked shield. She is really cool. We've got another person here who looks like they're inspired by Tzeentch, Changer of Ways. Each quest contains a double-sided quest setup / quest rules card, along with all the other cards needed for that particular quest. Okay, that's useful. A setup example of a 2-player game. We'll get the glossy sheen off of the page so that we can look at this. Lots of tokens in this example. Here are our 2 players. The game is played over a number of rounds until the heroes win or lose. The chosen quest deck will describe how the heroes win the game, the heroes lose the game if any hero is defeated, or a game effect specifies an additional loss condition. Each round is divided into 4 turns. The hero turn, the threat turn, the villain turn, and the quest turn. Interesting. On the hero turn, each hero refreshes each exhausted card they control and flips their action token face up. Then each hero resolves an act phase, performing 3 actions. Phases. How to convolute turns. Phases. Threat turn. Each hero resolves a react phase, resolving the activate effect on each card in their threat area. And on the villain turn, the heroes must resolve the activate effect on each card in the villain play area and draw 1 villain card. For the quest turn, the heroes must resolve the activate effect on each card in the quest area. There are 3 main types of hero cards: action, feat, and reaction. Action cards are played during a hero's turn. Action step by performing a play action card action. A hero can play a feat during their action step, but it does not require the hero to perform an action. I like that distinguishment, that distinctiveness, that distinction. That's the word, Ash. A reaction card can be played in response to a specific situation as described on the card. You've activated my trap card, you. Cards can be exhausted. Figures can move diagonally, but not onto spaces occupied by a figure, an ally token, a rival token, or a trap token. There are attribute tests in this game. Cards have keywords. Heroes can control up to 2 trinket cards and only 1 of each other type of equipment. So trinkets probably refer to like artifacts. And there are campaign rules. Players wishing to link their games of AltarQuest together may choose to embark on a campaign following the rules in this section. You'll choose your heroes, you'll gather the enemy upgrade cards, and if you're playing a story, you refer to the chosen story's story rules and the corresponding story guide for additional setup steps. There's another vampire. I really like their vampires. We've got our summaries on the back of the instruction book, rulebook, and then we have Out of Luxon, which is a story guide. There's a lot of vampires. That's a lot of vampires. The story guide reads like a choose-your-own-adventure. Choices that you make will affect how you begin your quest. Then you will set up the quest, you'll get your details as to which decks you're going to use. There will be tests that each hero has to make in this specific example in Chapter 1, and additional instructions if you win or lose the quest. There are 6 chapters in the Out of Luxon story guide. Okay, next we're going to head into tokens. My least favorite part of any game, to be completely honest with you. Not a big token fan. We've got a lot of bags, we've got a lot of evil helmets, we've got a lot of jutting rocks, and we've got a lot of crusader cowls. Double-sided, but they're the same on both sides. More tokens, this time traps, orbs of blue spear. These must be like the allies. Shields, torches, or perhaps straw brooms. The stairs tile. Look at the stairs tile! Will it HeroQuest? It's a 1-inch grid convention. It should HeroQuest just fine. I can only guess. Wound markers and gold. And then more of the same. Alright, we're out of the boring woods. It's time to climb the plateau of entertainment. We have what looks to be a 6-fold board, and we'll get into the miniatures and cards here shortly. The 6-fold board is... bold. It's not double-sided. The back side is this really nice, threaded, tough, textured black. This is like the stuff you would line your truck bed with. This is nice. But what's really nice about it is it kind of makes it easy to figure out how to fold. Okay, wow, I spoke too soon. That's the con of the 6-fold bold. 6-fold bold. 6-board fold. That's the con of the 6-fold board. This is a lovely board. Okay, we've got our pros, we've got our cons. There's a lot of light on here. I'm going to turn the light off. And this is what it looks like under ambient, just normal lighting. Normal bedroom, single LED light bulb light. Camera's not really doing it justice. It looks a lot more blighted. In real life, it's a very cozy atmosphere. It looks nice. That has a lot to do with the glare that you're seeing. But this kind of gives you a much better idea of what it should really look like. We have a lone corridor that surrounds the outermost perimeter of the entire board. Each board section is 11 by 11, meaning that we have a 22 by 33 tile board. I don't know if bigger is always better, but a lot of the rooms in HeroQuest can sometimes be very cramped feeling, so all of these rooms are enormous. You're not going to have that cramped feeling anywhere in here. Even your proposed corridor areas are at least 2 tiles wide. We do have baked in doors, so while you could create your own quests and there should be a good variety of quests going on, all of these rooms will always be in these spots connected exactly by these doors. Maybe that will change with the inclusion of the 3-dimensional doors that we actually have, or maybe the rules say to place those doors always on the spots where these doors are implied to be, connecting the rooms and corridors. We also don't have any doors that lead outside into the corridor around the board, but perhaps somebody can weigh in what the deal is there. It might be perfectly fine to place doors. At any rate, I'm not going to get back into the rule or adventure book. The tile almost ironically seems like it was made to be a little bit too big for the tile convention here. The stairs tile, it does fit squarely where it's supposed to fit, but it does encroach onto the walls, which honestly I should have expected that. It is pretty much exactly a 1-inch standard because I don't see any drifting. It's not like I'm coming up with 33 and a 16th or anything when I measure the board, or 22 and an 1/8, anything like that. These tiles were well measured. So yeah, by all accounts, this board exactly would HeroQuest. This would be perfectly compatible with all of the HeroQuest tiles and vice versa. Enough about that. Let's get back to the unboxing. We have features to unbox. We have doors to look at. We have miniatures to look at. We have dice to look at. These dice have symbols on them. When you roll, you will get a symbol. What do the symbols mean? I don't know. I really like these little ice cubes. Oh yeah, that's nice. We'll turn that light back up and we'll get a look at these. These really look like they play out similarly to the Warhammer Quest, the card game / Heroes of Terranoth game. They're the exact same game. One just has a Warhammer Quest skin on it. But it truly looks like we've got 3 dice that could represent successes in what it is that you're trying to do, like attack. Then we have one that's a little bit different. Looks like that clerical cowl. That could be a defense. We have one that has both symbols on it. And then we have a side that has what I presume to be a crit. So rolling these really cool, lightweight, rounded corner dice that feel and just look cool. No pun intended, but also I do mean it both ways. It should be a very close, I would think, to the Heroes of Terranoth and Warhammer Adventure card game rules, because those dice provide you with a pretty strict mechanics window in which difficulty is pretty solid. All right, let's just look at the miniatures. And for these, we're going to change our camera type. We're going to get back to the normal lens so you can see these guys in all their glory, because you can't do a lot of really good close-ups on the ultra wide. Okay, we're back. A dinosaur story. Here is my vampire lady with her spiked shield. A good paint job could really do this justice. I like her sword. The plastic it's kind of malleable. It's not gonna like snap off or anything. It's the good kind of plastic. Kind of looks like a cleric type, a take on a cleric. He does have his scepter. Looks like a holy weapon. Mace is the word that I'm looking for there. We have this character who is fascinating to me because she has bird talons where her hands should be. And she has digigrade feet. Digigrade? Very bird-like feet. Yeah, she's just fascinating. This would be the character that I would probably carry over into, say, a HeroQuest campaign. We have a lot of frog-type enemies. That was like the frog ranger. Then we have like the frog melees, kind of like frog bullies. And then we've got frog shaman. They are raising their little froggy fingies up, getting ready to cast a froggy spell in order to make you croak. There are a lot of each one, each type. We've got this pig person who honestly looks like she belongs in AltarQuest. If you know, you know. But you know what? That's cool. That's cool. Double mace wielder. Wonder if that's one of the villains. We've got our halfling dude, our little guy who's featured on the side of the box art. His little backpack is really cool. It's full of stuff. With his dagger and his lasso, it's one of the more dynamically detailed halfling characters I've seen. This is a really good sculpt. Got our 4 heroes. My favorite is definitely the bird lady, although I did hint at it being the vampire lady. The bird lady's just really cool. Could be my Zinch-isms. Okay, there was a illustration of this woman in the book. She has really nice hair and her face is really nicely sculpted. I really like it. She is holding a baby, and it is implied that she and the baby are both vampires. They both have blood dripping off of their mouths. So there's that. Okay, we've got features, and in our features we have mirror, not on the wall. We have, it's really hard to get out actually. Very nicely sculpted chest. I like how this chest looks a lot. We have bookcase. There's a lot of trinkets on the shelves as well. It's not just books. It's a very, very thick shelf unit. Kind of looks like one of those mainstays Walmart ones where you take the cloth cubes and you can put your laundry in it. Never mind. We have Mushroom Grove. I tell you what, this tile is pretty awesome. This is a Jungles of Delthrak tile, 100%. I'm using this in HeroQuest. No question about it. These are so mismatched and out of left field. Here's our weapons rack, which takes up entire tiles. Instead of like just sitting comfortably on tiles, you have to set this up like so and really block the way. Not a fan of how that was done, but I mean, you can tell what it is, and that's fine. These aren't real complaints. I'm just kind of observing, you know. This thing is like a throne for a big, bad, evil enemy, but it's really part of the scenery too. So I like that. I do like that. That's a 2x2, and it looks like you could place, you know, somebody really important on here, perhaps. And they'll actually fit if they have the normal 3/4 inch base convention here. One of these little froggy dudes would fit just fine. And you could give them enhanced stats if they're on this thing, or denote that they're the boss of this whole operation. All right, the next feature is super cool. I'm not sure what to call this thing. It looks like a fountain, but there's a beautiful warrior angel sculpture in the center of it, and then there's this lovely gate that's been erected around it, and it's so nicely detailed. This is such a cool sculpt. Now next up, I kind of thought this was a boss, and I guess it could be, but it's got a little bassinet here that it's carrying. So is this like the frog caravan for the vampire baby? Or am I misinterpreting what that is? Anyway, he is a very big froggo, and he looks really, really cool. All right, and finally we've got the Alchemist bench. This is a well-known, obviously inspired Alchemist bench. You can see it in the details. You can see it by its, you know, I tend to think that this is a scale of some kind, but it's, everything about this is really well done and everything is well sculpted, but with the scale, they were just like, just make sure that people know it's the HeroQuest bench. All right, so we'll take these features and we will decorate our dungeon. These mushrooms are super out of place in this primarily indoor setting, evidenced by the pieces here. But I don't care, it's all good. Next up, we have our Raglanders deck, or I suppose this is actually a lot of different stuff combined in one package. Yeah, we have a few decks packaged together. This is our halfling, Rowan Laughlin, with abilities such as Bury Scurry. Ooh, somebody's Bury Scurry. The Trapper's Rope, the Bury Knife, Stray Knives, Professional Rummager, Just a Bury. Oh my god. I can cook this. There are a lot of repeat cards, so it looks like you've got a lot of actions you can perform with the cards in your hand. A lot of repeat actions. You're probably doing a lot of picking and choosing. You might end up with a hand of very similar actions, feats. So I could see each turn playing out very different from one another. Probably a little bit of forward thinking that you could do to influence how you're going to play your next turn. Cedrin Highmoor. These are double-sided. They have the exact same thing on both sides. How about that? Myrene Duval. She is so cool. And so is Quella. I love them both. The halfling's really cool. He's a bit cocky for my tastes, but he is really cool nonetheless. And Cedrin here looks pretty cool as well. He looks like a typical, I took a paladin's oath. I'm here to read from the holy book and slay the undead. But he has a bit of a contemporary look. He's more like coat wearing instead of robe wearing. The cleansing, the escape. Are these double-sided? Yes. The hunt, the rescue, the search, the showdown, frocks, Raglanders. Okay, so the piggies are the Raglanders. The thralls, Bulks, the Belch Lord, Gert. Oh, that's Gert. Oh, that's Gert. Do you swipe right? You swipe right, don't you? Wynora Morn. Swipe. Altars. Allies. Enemy upgrades. This deck is just a bunch of stuff that the game comes with. Equipment. Oh, these are separators, aren't they? These are card separators, deck separators. Features, yeah. Lurkers out of Luxon, the campaign pool, and the journal. All right, you know what? Joking aside, I love that this comes with this stuff. This is where it's at. Okay, so these are separators for sure because same length, different height, and you can clearly read the labels on each one. Thank you so much. Why does Wynora has her own deck? That's terrifying. So unlike what I usually do, which is pack everything back into the box as close to as I found it as possible, I'm probably going to make sure I separate my cards into their respective decks when all of this stuff goes back together. Next up, I don't need to open this. These are the turn marker rings, the character marker, player marker. You're yellow. I want you to be honest with me right now. When you get the choice of a pawn in single color pawn games, do you ever choose yellow? Like, why can't a game only come with the cool colors? Sorry, yellow. I don't mean to vindicate you, but I mean, that's just how it is. The showdown is its own deck, so those deck separators were not kidding. The search. Yeah. Yep. The rescue. So those are entire quests because like the rescue, this is the quest setup for the rescue. Remove each objective card from the quest deck and randomly place one objective card in each hero's threat area. Remove the rest from the game. Remove the prisoner from the quest deck and place it in the villain play area. I love that. I love that there's very clear, explicit setup instructions for each quest. So if it was made as a response to what HeroQuest represented and what it was and how it was played, then the idea by the Sadlers was to extend this into a game system that played differently every time you played. I don't know about catering to play styles. I think that it was more of a anything can happen depending on how you combine the cards type of mindset. And I actually think that that's a good way to approach scaling your game system out. The last thing that we have to look at before we're done with the core box is the sculpts in this tray. Thank you, by the way, to Blacklist or whoever designed this. This stuff is all put together very compact. These guys are not behind layers and layers of double boxes, and the tray is unobtrusive. We don't have a lot of lost real estate. There is some still, obviously, but it's not obnoxiously so. We have more, what are they called? Raglanders. This piggy man is about to throw a Molotov cocktail. Very old school orc. He's got a whole barrel full of these bombs. Tusk belt, I love that. Bunch of those guys. Then you've got a larger piggy with big stick and meat haunch upon which he is feasting, not taking your heroes seriously at all. He's just like, whatever, I'm gonna finish my lunch while I beat you to death with this stick, the pig stick. Now, this has to be an enemy type, I can only imagine, because why would there be so many of them unless you are really meant to decorate your dungeon with these statues, these plinths with these gargoyles on them. Very demonic looking, but really cool. You could 100% take the gargoyles out of this box and use them as decorative elements for your HeroQuest campaign. I know I'm doing a lot of comparisons with HeroQuest. That is on purpose. Yes, I do mean to do it. Yes, it is very deliberate. Here is one of the thralls. He's got his hands together as if not sure how to take your hero party. He's very much ready to talk about the futility of fighting against his order, his queen. We have more of these porky raglanders, this time females with these notched swords that they are dual wielding. And finally, we have the female thrall screaming as she tries to instill fear and terror upon your heroic hearts. Next up, we have the doors. And I mean, come on. But I do like these. They seem to have a pretty good footprint. The door being slightly ajar is a pretty interesting choice. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if there are enough doors to fill in every single door space on the board. And the answer to that is no. There are not enough doors for that. There are still leftover door spaces. So, I mean, it's good that the game's not trying to make you use the entire board, every quest or anything. That's whatever. Okay, we're gonna put most of this stuff back in order to make room for the next unboxing. But it would be remiss of me not to include the silica gel packet, which makes for a tasty mid-unboxing snack. My plan was to kind of race through the elements of the game and get to a point where I would unbox the next feature and do that in the same stream, but I'm actually going to have to do that in a different video. We're not streaming, this is pre-recorded, but War Squeal! Oh my god, that's so amazing. War Squeal. This is a Gert card. Spreading Stench. Oh no. Weight of Leadership. Trail of Refuse. Oh no, ugh. A Pungent Aura. Everything is Thunderous Stomp. Ooh, it's the Wynora Mourn villain deck. Sanguine Tantrum. Royal Tasters. Crawling Terror. I like nothing about that. Oh my god. I swiped right on the wrong lady in this game. At any rate, that's AltarQuest. We're gonna have to do the unboxings for its expansion and stretch goals in another video. But I'm fairly confident I'll be able to knock both of those out in the same video. I'll do a lot less yapping, I promise. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do the exact same amount of yapping. This was one of those game collections that I got. Look at that. Advertisements for the next few games that Blacklist has on there. Oh, Hour of Need looks really cool. What the heck? That looks really cool. Adam and Brady Sadler, they don't stop, do they? I guess they just don't stop making games. There's Street Masters. I didn't know Street Masters was this far back. One of those, as I was saying, collections of games I missed out on. I didn't back the original or anything like that, but I did find it on eBay. And after doing a little bit of research and seeing how much like HeroQuest it was, I decided to give it a try and buy it. What I haven't done yet, as you can see, obviously, is give it a try and play it. But we will inch closer to that event as the days go by. For now, I thank you very much for watching. Please comment down below, and I will see you in the next adventure. Until then, bye for now, brave heroes.